when doing this, there must be lands which should be surrendered for the public use and should be shaded blue in the subdivision scheme. So part 6 of this legal notice talks about requirements for submission of development application.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Madam Chair, I appreciate the CCO's ability on legal matters. But I think probably my question was not very clear in regards to the issue specifically on Taita Estate. So yes, you have taken us through the legal aspects and the legal framework around the issue, but the question was very straightforward. Mm-hmm. Was there change of views? What is the story behind it? And if there was change of views, did it follow the law? Or in other words, this particular farm, the 3,000 hectares in question, because I remember earlier you gave us a background of how the land was subdivided into 4 different plots, and there's one plot that has been put up for sale. So this particular property that we are talking about, how was it registered? Was it registered as a commercial property, residential? How is it registered? Agricultural? How was it registered? And if it wasn't registered for agricultural activities, for example, was there change of use for it now to transit from agricultural land into residential land, or what is being anticipated right now? And then, even as you're responding to that question, kindly now touch on the status of approvals in the change of user, and also approvals of the sale of that piece of land. Any information that we might have would be extremely useful. And finally, also touch on the issue of public participation. Without taking us through a lot of legal jargons, because it might take us a lot of time to just respond to these others. And we have, I think, 6, 7, 8 more questions that we might want to respond. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Reply as you had asked, Honorable Shambi. Thank you for that. So now leaving the legal part of it, straight to the status of approval. We are talking about 2 different plots here. Number 1, 3880/4, and Mwatate 1/14. 1 piece of land, 1 area of plant. Initially, 3880/4 was under agricultural use, but when they were applying for subdivision, it changed from agricultural use to mixed use. Okay, to mixed use, and when they were doing this, in their master plan, the Mwatate block 1/14, they're supposed to apply for a subdivision. Change of user here might not necessarily apply, because that particular land has a use of a mixed use, that is to say, a mixed use status. So the change of use in this particular aspect might not be applicable, but subdivision must be applicable. There must be an application to subdivide that particular land under a prescribed form to the CECM for approval. And then there must be circulation of that intention to subdivide this particular land to the land administrator in the national government, to the DCC and others. So when they did this, one of the entities which was asked to give their views rejected that proposal. Yes, so one of the entities rejected that proposal for subdivision and gave reasons why that was not tenable. One of the reasons was that the change of user and also subdivision was applied pertaining to 3880/4, that is the LR 3880/4, and not for Mwatate 1 Block 1/14.
Chair, the name of the
Let's get the name of the entity.
Thank you, Chair. National government, they have made this particular letter on 25th of March 2022, saying a proposed comprehensive development plan of TEITA Title Limited. Mwatate Block 1/14, Mwatate Sub-County, Taita Taveta. Reference made to your letter, of March 2022, together with attached comprehensive master plan from registered planner Paul G. Chege, RPP number 0106 dated 14th February 2022, concerning the above subject refers. This office has objection on the proposed plan due to the following reasons. No documentation attached to prove that public participation was carried out during planning of the proposed project. 2, no gazette notice or public notice was attached for Mwatate Block 1/14 defining the attached plan. 3, the attached public notice was LR number 3880/4 and not Mwatate Block 1/14. 4, the plan has not fully indicated waste management processes. Okay, there's no need of deliberating on that. And also number 5, road transactions, there's no need of that. But point 2 and 3 talks about issues to do with the gazette notice. The gazette notice which was placed for 3880/4. And that subdivision happened. Now we are a new block, the Mwatate now. So they ought to have followed the due procedure, which was now reading. They ought to have followed that procedure, applied afresh for a subdivision. So that's one of the evidence. And issues to do with legality. Of course, as a department, we also feel that the legality of this particular matter is in question. Reasons being, one, form it's called Form Plupa. Form Plupa DC, that is form, and then Plupa stroke DC stroke 8 was issued by the county chief officer of the department, and that is not the jurisdiction of the county chief officer. This particular form is supposed to be filled by the CEC of the department in a prescribed form. So the regulations gives the specification of what should be indicated in this form. So notification of approval, stroke refusal, stroke deferment of application. So the CEC is supposed to write, I think, to the entity. So and then say your application number or whatever submitted on a particular day was issued or issued, has been rejected, approved, or deferred, and give reasons. For example, for the following reasons, subject to the following conditions. So this particular letter, which was written on 6th May 2022 by a chief officer, ref notification of approval of development permission. So your application submitted 15th March 2022 seeking permission for TEITA Estate Comprehensive Master Plan situated at Matate Sub-County was approved by the county government of Taita Taveta subject to the following conditions. He gave the conditions, but there is nowhere the reasons has been given why he is approving this particular subdivision. And of course, signed by the county chief officer. We're not supposed to be that way. So, then there's another form. That is form Plupa stroke DC stroke 2. Talking about public notice notification for proposed subdivision. So, after coming up with the plan, you're supposed to notify the public, give a notice to the public for a proposed subdivision. And this must be done by a registered physical planner. So, I've not seen that form in the offices. I don't know if they made that, but this just to notify you that this particular form, which also ought to be filled. Of course, you also talked about Honorable Shambi also talked about issues to do with change of user. Form Plupa DC 3 talks about public notification for proposed change of user. Now this is giving notice to the public. So after doing all this now is when you are supposed, now the CEC is supposed to do what? To put to the Kenya Gazette the intention and give a time limit of that so that the public can verify, give opinions, indications or something like that, kind of now, it's kind of a public participation one way or the other, so that these two public participation arenas now in the form DC, I think 2, and then now this one again, and also the form which directs the CEC to put a public notice. So we understand that there was a notice placed by the CEC, or let me say that, placed by the county government, not the CEC at that particular time. We have the Gazette here by the department, placed by the department. So by the department, which was placed conforming to LR 3880 and not Mwatate block 1/14, which now they want to subdivide. So you can say that the legal formalities and the legality of this particular matter, they are in question. They're in question. Thank you. So I think I've answered your question on approvals, change of user, public participation, and the status of approval. So the status of approval is that it has been approved. By now, it has been approved. It was approved by then in 2022. Was it 6th of May? 6th of May 2022. It was approved. But the jurisdiction of the approving officer is also in question because the CEC is supposed to do that. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Makalo with a leading question.
Yes. He confirms it was approved. But again, there is a question of the jurisdiction that he's talking about. So my question was, do you still call that as an approval? Because if the officer who does that was not the approver, is not allowed to do that approval, do you still call this approval, or it was unprocedural?
You're off record. You're not on Hansard.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Makalo is asking if I call this an approval. So I don't have the jurisdiction to revoke this particular approval, but if I was the CEC, I would have revoked it some months ago, because Section 57, subsection 5 of the Plupa Act talks about issues of rejection. Let me read this section for you for clarity. Section 57(5). A county executive committee member may revoke development permission if the applicant has contravened any provision of this act or conditions imposed on the development permission for any justifiable reasons. So, let me take you to Regulation 28. Regulation 28 of the Legal Notice 253 of 2021 talks about revocation of development permissions. Subregulation 1. Under section 57.5, which I just read, of the Act, the CECM may revoke development permission issued under these regulations on the following grounds. A. Contravention of the conditions of approval. B. Any considerations under Article 66(1) of the Constitution. And then C. Risk of natural disaster. So if I was I will rely with regulation 28, subregulation 1A, which talks about contravention of the conditions of approval. Article 66 of the Constitution says regulations of land use and property. Subarticle 1, the state may regulate the use of any land or any interest in or right over any land in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, public health, or land use planning. So let me go back to Regulation 28, which takes us to, subrogation 3 says, where the county executive committee member revokes the development permission under subrogation 1, he or she shall issue the holder a notice of revocation of development permission in form plupa DC-12, which I want to go now there, DC-12. So DC-12 gives the CC the power to issue this form. It says notification of revocation on development permission. So your approval number dash dash, it gives the conditions, reasons, and then signs, the CEC signs, and then copies to the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Lands, National Land Commission, Director General, Director of Surveys, Land Register, County Secretary. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Finally, Mheshimiwa Amos.
Yes, still on the same, Chair. I wanted also to ask the CCO, he's also a legal mind. So does he consider that letter and the procedure from the CCO by then as a legit process? That is one. Two, he says the CCM can revoke in such a scenario. So I'm looking at the time period. Is there a time period once a letter of approval was done, the time when the revocation can come, or the revocation can appear at any time? Looking at the magnitude of the projects at hand and the period now we are in, and when the letter was done for approval. So maybe you can shed light on that, Chair. Thank you too.
Thank you. The CCO, what the honorable member is asking, are we still within the limits of revocation of the same approval? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Unfortunately, the Article 66 of the Constitution, Section 57.5 of PLUPA, Regulation 28, and also this form, that is a form PLUPA DC-12, does not give the time frame. Does not give the time frame on which a particular time you're supposed to revoke this particular application, and also put into consideration the stages which the entity has passed. I don't know. The second question was if I consider the CCO signing this document as an illegality. That was the question. Yes, as a legal profession, I consider this as an illegality. That is not the part of the CCO signing, but on the stipulations of meeting this particular act, or these particular acts, these particular legal provisions. So I don't know if the CCO had an authority to sign. I'm not sure, because I will ask if maybe there was a written authority to sign. Of course, the CCO, maybe at that particular time, the CEC maybe was not around, or had been advised to do so. If we are going by these acts and legal provisions, that's a misnomer, which will consider that as a way of revoking this particular application. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, CCO.
Madam Chair, just one follow-up question.
Yes, please.
Chief, you have directly or indirectly insinuated that the process is illegal and therefore illegitimate. Is that correct?
Thank you, Chair. Yes. The law clearly stipulates what should be done, and the procedure was not followed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the fact that the procedure was not followed means that the whole process is illegitimate.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we can say that the whole process is illegitimate if I stick by the act,
Thank
by
you.
the acts of Parliament and also the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Thank you, Chief. Now, I just wanted to understand, based on that understanding, what the department has been able to do to correct or rectify the situation.
Thank you, Chair. The department is on a fact-finding mission, as the County Assembly is doing right now. And we started this by writing a letter to the registrar confirming the status of this particular land, which the registrar confirmed. And without question, the land belongs to TEITA Estate. And later on, we made a letter, I think on the same day, requesting, I particular wrote a letter to TEITA Sisal, requesting them to give us documentation on this particular land, several documents, which they replied last week, I think, and we have the documents here. So at least it shows that we have begun the process, and I will be advising the CC on the appropriate steps to be taken, if at all, if there will be revocation or not. And also, of course, I will get a further advice from the county attorney of the executive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, CCO. To our DS, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you also, Bwana Chief Officer and your team. You've been so bold today. Chair, I was even worried. The CCO might end up getting hyper before the microphone, but I'm happy he's controlled himself. But of importance, I need to understand, I've also taken time to read this act. Do we have a county physical and land use planning consultative forum? Because as part of my reading, is that in every county, there is supposed to be that forum, and it also states the membership of this forum, where and it has even the roles, the mandate and all that. And I was trying to wonder, do we have that forum in Taita Taveta? And there's an element of the CCM even gazetting this forum, particularly on some names that are supposed to be external. So we need to understand that maybe it bypassed me, we have this forum or not. Then something else, Chair, I would like us to look at is, I saw an advert of a certain lady encouraging Taita Taveta residents to buy. It's a properties developer. I don't know, some estates agent trying to woo residents of Taita Taveta to buy. I don't know, this number of people have bought, number of plots have been bought, so hurry up and such like things. So I also need to seek your advisory, because we as government, we are here also to protect. We have a responsibility, we have an obligation to protect the good citizenry of this county and the country at large. So from what you have alluded, that there's an illegality in the process, and there is what as a department you are trying to do, so that people may not end up buying, then tomorrow another statement is issued, a revocation. You have also talked about the forms, I don't know, from pluper, stroke deceased, stroke 12, whatever, those that can be used to revoke and all that. I'm also interacting with the same what you are sharing with us. So what will be advisory seated there as the CCO, because we understand Taita Taveta residents are so keen watching this live stream on this particular matter, particularly those that are rushing to the estate agents. Then the other one, Madam Chair, Honorable Chair, I would wish the set of documents that the CCO and the team are using, all of them, because they were under oath. I had stepped out. So, and these files were not tabled. So we would like these files to be tabled right away, because they may end up becoming hearsay. So we would like before the end of this session that they're all tabled. We have no problem with the hard copies. Then the Sergeant at Arms and the Secretariat can make copies in their presence. Then we release them. We release the documents back to them. And finally, I'd like to make a request or an application, Chair, through your directions, that the former CCO, County Chief Officer, in charge of physical lands, physical planning, that has been mentioned, having approved, given some approvals, ultra vires, then he also needs to be invited in this house, so that we may understand the circumstances that led him to execute a mandate that was not his. Did he have an authority or not? We will still wish also to understand why did he take that move. And again, also let him narrate his story, because he could be having a story that we also need to corroborate the whole thing in assisting the wisdom of this house. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Bwana Diaz. On copy submission, we agreed that they will do the necessary after this sitting, and I want to believe the CCO, we still hold on the same. The CCO?
Yes, sorry, Chair.
On submitting the copies, all the files Do we still hold the same as agreed earlier?
Yes, yes, Madam Chair, and you can have them right away.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
please.
you. Thank you. Sergeant? Sergeant? Thank you so much. Now, let's go to another question, which is,
Chair, I have a follow-up.
yeah, you are to react on the DS's concerns, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. Also, thank you, Honorable DS Selim. Thank you for the compliments about the boldness of the team. Of course, we're used of being bold enough because we have to be bold, compassionate, courageous when dealing with land matters, because land matters are emotive, and if we get someone who is not bold enough, then the county government will go to the wrong direction. So we have to uphold that. And also, thank you also for notifying us that it is a live stream. And then you also talked about issues to do with land, that county. It is called County Physical and Land Use Planning Liaison Committee. So that is established under Section 76 of Plupa Act, which gives the composition of the County Physical and Land Use Planning Liaison Committee. One of the person who's supposed to be sitting there is an advocate of the High Court, nominated by the Law Society of Kenya and appointed by the County Executive Committee member, and who shall be the chairperson, a representative of the National Land Commission, a representative of the National Construction Authority, a registered physical planner, a registered architect, all of them appointed by the CC, a registered architect, a registered surveyor, 2 members being 1 male, 1 female, nominated by the County Chamber of Commerce and appointed by the County Executive Committee. So the County Committee, Executive Committee here sits as the secretary. So unfortunately, the county government does not have this composition. We don't have this committee, but we will be advising on the same. Thank you. And okay, maybe you have to react to that also, maybe due to funds, I'm sure this committee, when it sits, maybe there are some allowances which are supposed to be given, something of the sort. So maybe it's one of the factors that has made this committee establishment to delay. Thank you. You also, the DS also talked about a lady saying that some people have bought the land and we need to protect them. So I'm not sure if the land has been bought as per now. I'm not sure. I also saw that the Sisal estate had given some months for the people of Taita Taveta to purchase that particular land, 6 months I think, but I was not in that particular forum because we were not invited as a county government to those, majority of the forums actually. Actually, on my part, I've never received any invitation to do that. But I understand also, going by the parliamentary committees 2014 and 2021, there's a case on this particular matter in court, of course. I understand that on 15th of April, there was a mention on this particular matter, a particular case. I will just urge the citizens maybe to take note, and for now maybe they can keep away for now as we do our due diligence. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Just a follow-up question. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Mwambi. Mheshimiwa Mwambi.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Bryson Mwambi, MCS Agara. Just want to assist you to take you back on the lease terms. You have explained very well on the lease terms, but maybe have you gotten the condition? Do you have does the lease have some conditions? And if this lease have conditions, are these conditions also allowing or giving a go ahead for this company to sell that targeted 3,000 acres of land? Yeah, does those conditions also maybe expound on maybe this company can do whatever what is happening now? Do these conditions augur well? Are they auguring well with what is happening now pertaining to the 3,000 acres? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Bryson Mwambi. Yes, the lease has conditions. And condition number 6 in particular says, the land shall not subdivide, change, or extend use of the land without prior written consent and approval of the national government or county government. And then condition 7 says, the lease shall not, the leasee, that is the leasee, here it is TEITA Sisal, shall not sell, transfer, sublet, charge, or part with a possession of the land or any part thereof or any building thereof except with prior consent or in writing of the national government or county government. Now here we have to go with the prescribed form which we just talked about. So there are conditions which must be met. I think there are 6-7 conditions and in the lease form. So these are the special conditions for the lease. So I just read number 6 and number 7, but we have 11 in total. So this lease was this was dated on 7th day of October 2021. The special conditions and also the lease certificate. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Wanasisio. Let's go to question 3, led by Mheshimiwa Kimuyu. Please, karibu.
Thank you, Chair. Chief, dear team, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon too.
Yes, I have a question for you with some questions follows. The question goes like this. What is the total acreage of TEITA estate? What is the total acreage of TEITA estate? Also provide supporting document on the same. Also, we need also to explain the disputes that Taita Taveta estate has had since inception with the bordering communities, ranches, and their current status if unsolved. Explain the dispute that Taita estate has had since its inception with the bordering communities, ranches, and their current status if unsolved. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, my MCA, Honorable Kimuyu. So what is the total acreage of TEITA estate? The document which we have just shared, at least documents certified by the land registrar, and it shows that Mwatate, we are talking about Mwatate block 1/14. The lease acreage is 1,213.95 acreage. That is HA, acreage. If we're to convert into acreage, I will multiply that by 2.47. I think that will accumulate to 2,999 something of the sort if you multiply. But an acreage is 1213.95. And we have the documents, so we have provided evidence to that. And then the second question was disputes with a bordering community. Yes, of course, there has been disputes this particular land, and that actually prompted the parliamentary committees in 2014 and 2021 to conduct some due diligence, and they reported that back to the parliament, of course. And one of the dispute is people squatters who had stayed or was squatted in Singila Majengo, for example. And if we go by a document called tax waiver, because I saw this information written by the managing director explaining the acreages which he has given. For example, saying the above is premised on the fact that Taita Taveta, when they were applying for waiver of plan approval fees, they have released free of charge without any compensation 225 acres. This went to the Central Singila Majengo squatters. And then 328 acres of its Langateni land, stretching from Landi to Voi River, for human settlements. And also they have settled Mwandisha Primary School. So there has been disputes, and we have also seen that there is an aspect of Masiwambua who have also went to court, trying to look at the case number. So this is a parliamentary report. Taita says so Lester Limited is alleged to currently engage in a dispute with Mwasibambua in a High Court case, in bracket HCCC, then close the bracket, number 103 of 2007, consolidated with HCCC number 352 of 1928. That's just one of the confirmation of the disputes which this particular land is engaged with. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Now let's go to question number 4, led by Honorable Azar, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assistant on the team, my name is Azardin, MC Kalinward. Assistant, kindly explain the impact of the sale of the 3,000 acres of land on the other general land use and planning. I repeat, kindly explain the impact of sale of the 3,000 acres of land on the other general land use and planning.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Azar. The impact of sale of 3,000 acres on other general land use and planning. Generally, if I was to give a view, is that the plan is okay, the plan is good, and of course it will broaden and expand Mwatate municipality and its environs. They have shaved off some pieces of land for the public as enshrined under, of course, the law. And in that aspect, there are some roads which will be opened for passage. I think on the physical planning aspect, Taita Taveta will benefit from the planning, and putting into consideration also that this is a 999 years lease. So far it was a 1927. That lease was given 1927 as per the registrar's certification. And I think, how many years are those? Is it until now? Those are 100, I don't know, 97. So subtract 999 minus the years which the lease has been in operation. I think it is 800 and something, if I'm not wrong, or 902, 3 or 902. So some years to come, so many years to come. As I said, on the physical planning aspect, this is a good project, on my view. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, we still have a long way to go. We have a balance of around 5 questions. And I want to seek your concurrence. I've been told lunch is served. So can we go for lunch, then we come back and continue, or we go to the latter and then, what is your concurrence, members? Do we continue? Thank you so much. Now let's go to another question, which is led by Mheshimiwa Wangama, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. CCO and your team, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I have one question for you. Has the master plan been submitted to Department for Transmission to CA for approval? That is my question.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Wangama asked that has the master plan been submitted to the department for approval? Yes. If we go by the Act, as we earlier said, there must be an application by an entity to the CCM to for subdivision to take place in a prescribed form. So I'm not sure if the prescribed form was used or what. I'm not sure about that, but this means that they had applied. That is the reason why it was approved on 6th May 2022. Thank you.
Bwana CCO, I'm a bit confused about the submission of the master plan for approval. I thought this you should have given it the first priority because everything zeroes on the master plan. And we really need to know whether it was submitted, because for us as an assembly, because it has to come to the assembly for approval. Then I'm being made to understand if it could be laying with within your coffins, we will hold you responsible for not submitting it to the assembly. Kindly clarify on that.
Thank you, Chair. I'm talking about subdivision, that is application for subdivision. Application for subdivision of that particular land. Mwatate 1, block 1/14. So that must have been applied for it to be given an approval. And I've seen that an approval was made, despite the challenges which we talked about there before. But issues to do with now the master plan, being brought maybe to the department, to the CC for approval. I view that when you approve, you make approval for some subdivision, that's my view, not the view of the department, or not going by the legal provisions, because I've not so far interacting with these legal provisions. I've not seen where it's supposed to be brought, the master plan itself, and then coming to the county assembly. So I've not interacted anywhere in the stipulations. But as I said, that an approval must have been made to the department, to the CEC for approval. And an approval of subdivision was approved on 6th of May 2022.
Chair.
Yes, Banadias, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm trying to understand the CCO. I believe there is a file for all these applications within the lands department's archives, wherever. There is a place where you keep all these documents. So it is either the document is there or not. That is one. Number two, we are seeing here an approval being given on a parcel of land. That is Mwatate, blah, blah, blah. Then again, there is what you gave us, there's a news, there's some advert in a newspaper that was talking of a different parcel of land, not the same parcel that is in question. I'm trying to connect the dots. Then the final one, you made a request to TEITA Estates. I don't know, it's TEITA Limited, whatever. Imeitwa majina mingi sana. Mara TEITA Sisal, mara TEITA Estate, that one. TEITA Limited, I don't know. You've made a request to them for documentation. So among the documents that they have brought, is there not such an application? Because they should all bring their whole some file that this is the application, this was the input in the process, this is what was churned as output of the process. So they had made an application, this is the application, and this is what the CCO gave out as an output. So try to create that link so that we may understand. Or else we assume either the document was lost, the application was lost, or the application was not done. It was a cat and mouse play whereby the CCO released a letter of approval, notification of approval, and also at the other side they did an advertisement with a different land parcel number, notification of a different land parcel. There was some cat and mouse parcel to confuse the public and the whole system. So we also want to know the mystery surrounding those land parcels, those announcements, those advertisements, and those notifications, and what they had applied. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, DS. Issues to do with that application, which was made. I want it to be put on record that I have not interacted with that document. On our record, I have not seen the document. Even my colleagues here can attest to that, who have not seen that document in your files. Maybe you can request for more time to find the document, the application which was made by Taita Sisal on that end. But the letter which we made to Taita Sisal, actually in the file which we have just given you, is that they provided ownership documents, that is the title deed, and also a search document to show that that particular land is theirs, and they also provided PPA2. That means the document which we are talking, the document which we are talking of, the CCO approving. They also provided NEMA approvals, and also Kenya approvals, and also rates and rent clearance certificates. Also a copy of published notification documents. They're in that file. This document, this gazette notice, as I earlier said, it pertains to 38, that is LR 3880/4, and not the land which you are talking about, that is Mwatate, block 1/14. So they made applications, as the way I understand, applications for that is a block, that is LR number 3880. But going by Mwatate block 1, there was never an advert that is in the Kenya Gazette which was made by the department or which was made by the CEC. So that is a misnomer, going by that. So and there's a point also the DS raised about different parcel of land being sold apart from the one which you are talking about. To be honest, I've not interacted with that information. I've not interacted with that information. I'm not aware of that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to welcome Honorable Steve, who will be leading us in the next question. Question number 6, please. Mheshimiwa Steve, karibu.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I have one question. My name is Stephen Zai Mkala, MCA Marungu Ward, and a member of this committee. Is subdivision and proposed sale compliant with the Physical Planning Act and Land Act?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Zai Stephen. I think we have answered that question, that it does not comply. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Let's have another question led by Mheshimiwa Mwambi, please.
Thank you, Chair. My question goes like this to the CCO lands. According to you, is the proposed sale of 300 acres, the ones in question, above board? I repeat, according to you, is the proposed sale of 300 acres in question above board?
Sorry, Mheshimiwa Mwambi, is it, are you saying 300 acres or 3,000 acres? 3,000, eh?
3,000 acres.
Thank you.
Above board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Mwambi. So, the Honorable Member of Sagala wants me to give an objective, that is subjective view of the sale of this particular land, if it is okay to sell this land, the Taita Sisal to sell this land or what. As I said, the land belongs to Taita Sisal for a lease of 999 years. As per the records, as per the lease title, as per the land registrar who certified that it is their land. So, it is allowed in law. If you want to sell, subdivide, change use, you are allowed. And even in the conditions which are stipulated in the lease certificate, it allows. I just read to you that is condition 6, number 6 and number 7. So it is allowed. And it is also for the benefit of people if they purchase the land. But the department, or my view, is that there is a problem in the subdivision process. The process was not adhered to as per the stipulations. And if maybe, for example, it is revoked, maybe they will apply again. We don't know. We are not sure. And then at that particular time, if the processes are followed, are adhered to, who are we to deny the subdivision for them to sell their own land, so long as it is limited to the 999 years lease? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, CEO and your team. Now I want to open another window for your departmental members if anybody has anything to say before we close.
Thank you, Chair. Let me start with the principal manager of Mwatate.
Okay, mine is to maybe emphasize on what he has just concluded on whether it is good to allow the subdivision. As Mwatate municipality, I think if the process goes through, we'll be benefiting a lot in terms of expansion, because every municipality needs to have a space to expand. And considering that, maybe what I can say, if the process is legalized, then that is a good project for Mwatate municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Wakalam.
Thank you, Chair. In my view, thank you very much for having invited us for this forum on the issue of Mwatate Block 14. In my view, I think as a county, that will be a very good project for the county. One, in terms of revenue, because the moment the process is done on the right way and using all the legal procedures that are required, I think it will be a good project for the county, because in one way or the other, we'll be able to get revenue in terms of land rent, and on the part of the national government, it will also be of good use for the county, because we'll be able to collect land rates for the same. And apart from that, the population is growing in the county, and we need housing as one of the agendas of His Excellency the President. of the Republic. So if there is land that would also be set aside for public utility and for affordable housing for our residents, I think it will be of good use. Thank you.
I want to get back to you, Madam Physical Planner, considering the conditions, the financial conditions of our people. What do you have to say to tell us about the price of tagged on the buying of plots? Are you sure? Yes, we'll get benefits, we'll get on-source revenue, we'll get expansion, but are we really sure that our people are going to benefit, considering the financial conditions of our people?
Thank you, Chair. On the pricing, if we could engage with the owner of the proponent of the parcel, if the pricing could be lowered because of the levels of financial levels and muscles in the residents, if the proponent would be able to give a fair price that the local mwananchi would be able to afford, I think that would be a very good consideration. So if the county could engage the proponent so that the pricing can be lowered for most of the local residents to be able to afford the payment, because I think the pricing that was tagged was 270,000, which most of the locals cannot be able to raise. So if the county would talk to this through the assembly, talk to the proponent so that maybe the pricing could be considered and the payments are given in a period of time, not at a fixed price of 270. Maybe they lower the prices and then give the residents time to maybe to raise that money. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Senior Fiscal Planner, Michael, you have something to say, Gandhi?
Maybe for now, my comments are similar to what Lucy has said, so no further comment.
Yeah, thank you, Engineer.
Maybe from my side, Chair, my comment could be very simple. If all the procedures and processes are followed adequately as in relation to the Act, I could say as a municipality, we could seriously benefit on the issue of public utilities, which I think land is scarce in Taita. And as a municipality, really with the transfer of functions, we are grappling with the issue of space in terms of now allocation of plots. So within the law of 10% reserved for public plots, I think as a municipality, we are bent to benefit highly if all the processes are followed adequately. Like there is the issue of disaster management. I think we'll require an area to put a fire station. So Matate, we've been looking around, we've been missing on those public plots. And if all the processes are adequately followed, I think we are to benefit big. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, mine is very simple. I understand there's a private property, but the subdivision should be for the benefit of the common mwananchi. Giving an example, you've seen in Taveta and Voi, we have so many issues, land conflict. Giving example like Taveta, whereby those people who have titles are not the actual people who are on the ground. If you go to Voi, we have issues whereby there are so many encroachments, or some people do not even have titles. These simple issues can generate a lot of issues in the future. Now, this CISL, we need to identify the area whereby we can benefit, we as the common mwananchi, whereby if they are selling at that high price, maybe they can consider, maybe like they can just sell at an average price that everybody can afford. The other thing is to ensure that if these portions are purchased by the local people, the settlements that are established already there, those are squatters. Now, if we sell these properties to people who can afford, and we know that when you go to so many areas in Taita, we have so many people who are in need of those spaces. So I think you as the leaders, you can enforce this issue whereby these people can at least consider the price, And also look at the population that we have. If we would consider the areas, either in Voi and Taveta, that we have issues, are we generating another issue here in Mwatate, whereby those people who will purchase the land might not even benefit? Or even if they will benefit, we'll still have the same issues that we are dealing with in other areas. So I think this is the high time for us to consider, if this process happens, are we resolving a land issue or are we generating another? And if we are not generating an issue, then it's a good process. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Members, back to us. Any member with any issue, any contribution, any question? Because you're almost closing. Members, please.
Chair.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Shambi.
I thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to hear from the department the status of the special plan that the House resolved that is done. So initially there was the special plan for municipality, and then later on we passed a motion here to have the special plan for entire county. So I don't know how far that process is.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Shambi. Is inquiring on county special plan, of course, which has been provided by section 105, 104 and also 109 of the County Government Act 2012, which requires every county government to have a 10-year plan. And unfortunately, the county government of Taita Taveta has not had this special plan since its inception in 2013. So with last year, I think May 17th or 19th, the CEC placed to the Kenyan Gazette an intention to plan, which requires that we plan, we start and plan and complete the entire process within a stipulation of 18 months. And that is, I think, stipulated under section 36 of the of PLUPA, which talks about issues to do with of that period, that is 18 months. So until now, we are remaining, it is 36.3. That is the county executive committee member shall ensure the county physical and land use development plan is prepared and published within a period of 18 months from the time notice of intention to prepare the plan is published. So that was on May last year. I think we are remaining with only 6 months, and to be honest with you, we are far behind, because like this year, this financial year, we had been given 10 million in our budget to do this exercise, but we have not received these funds. So it is a process which requires a lot of funds. We have gotten some well-wishers like FAO. They brought some instruments, survey instruments, and we have them here, just here, bordering this assembly. GIS lab, we constructed our GIS lab here. So to be honest, we are far behind. And just the other day, I was speaking with the DG, the deputy governor was inquiring about this process, and he requested me to give her the status and also advise on the strategies on which we should employ to ensure that this project is done within the stipulated time under section 36(3) of PLUPA. And I'm here to do that, but I think the major for us to do this exercise. Thank you.
Members, we are done. Yes, Mheshimiwa Mwambi.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mine is just to ask the CCO and the team. I know whether you know it's there was a time we mentioned about unregistered parcels of lands in this county. The county government currently is the custodian of those parcels of land. And it's that have you completed doing the inventory of unregistered land in this county? Have you come up with some workable time frame on now going forward and having these lands registered? That is one. Yeah, to avoid maybe some issues or clashes between TEITAs and TEITAs within the county. Because we have heard somewhere there are people who are approaching this land. So bring a lot of approaches within our own. So mine is just to ask the department to move fast, because if we don't move fast, then foreseeing problems. Chair.
Yes, thank you, Chair. If I have to react on that, yeah, for sure. There are two types of lands, of course, registered lands and unregistered lands. And I'm sure you are talking about community lands which are unregistered. That has been stipulated under the Community Act 2016, which requires that all lands to be registered for now for the beneficiaries to benefit. And so far we have 3 unregistered community lands, and but of course there are others which are emerging. So we have like Kasigau, Honorable Makalo have been engaging me on this. I also have Mugeno and another one, but we have also others like in Taveta. I saw a team coming to start a process of registration of a particular land in near National Park called what is the name again? I can't remember the name exactly, but the team is referred to as something like Nyario, but there is this particular land which encompasses over 3,000 acres of land in Taveta, and also Taveta, they don't have community land as such. But we are working to ensure that we settle all land problems in Taita Taveta. And I want to thank the committee of lands. You have been so supportive, and I think we have engaged in different activities. Also, specific members in their respective areas of jurisdiction, that in their wards, who have sought our assistance, and we have tried to assist, especially in Voi areas of Kaloleni and Reboazar, who have been engaging a lot, and others. But I will urge you, the committee, of course, and also the members, if you have a problem in your area, let us know, because sometimes you cannot understand every particular corner of Taita Taveta, maybe if there are challenges. So we have to engage so that we can able to cooperate, but that cooperation, we can see it, and I think we will make Taita Taveta great in terms of land settlement, and also in terms of trying to kill this problem of disputes in our county. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, members. Thank you, everybody, for your cooperation. We have a robust discussion. I feel encouraged. I'm more motivated. Thank you, guys, for saying it as it is. I had fears in the morning, but you have cleared my fears and those of my colleagues. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. What I want to tell you is this is not the last invitation you're going to receive from us. As I earlier said, we are still on fact-finding. We will be inviting so many people, so many concerned citizens, so many groups. But in the end of the day, if need arises that we invite you back to this assembly, kindly bear with us because we want to finish this process successfully, both beneficial to the landowners, to the citizens, and to the Taita Taveta government. We are closing this session. Bwana Chief, if you have a parting shot, I want to welcome you for that, please. A very brief one.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members, DS and the team. I think we have had a very good discussion. And we want to say that we don't have anything against Taita Sisal Cooperative, Limited. And we are just being professionals because we don't want in future to be asked questions which in particular time we are in office and we failed or we kind of decided maybe to keep quiet or not to give information. So here we are standing with principles of Article 176, 174 of the Constitution that talks about objects of devolution, issues to do with good governance, and also Article 10 of the Constitution, of course, which talks about values and principles of governance. Of course, I cannot forget to mention Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which talks about integrity. So we are honest enough to do things which are supposed to be done in office without malice, without prejudice, or without favor. So we're not against Taita Sisal, and as my colleagues have said, that they think that this is a very good project. I also support that. I think it's a good project, and but we just want the due procedure to be followed. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bwana Chief. Members and Department of Lands, I want to declare the session adjourned until further notice. Members, don't forget, we'll be having our engagement as early as tomorrow, 9 a.m. With the National Land Officers. So I want to remind you, let's keep time, unlike today. I wish you all the best. Lunch is served, is open for everybody. I wish you all the best as we proceed on our ways back home. And Department of Land, I'm happy to be in cooperation with you. You have really made our work easier as so perceived before we started undertaking